Hi, thanks for joining our video. Obviously you saw the mini album here and a few of the previews coming up to the video, or in the start of the video, and you obviously wanted to learn how to make one yourself, so welcome to the video. So here's the first part, which is kind of fun, is I'm going to show you how to create a blank mini album of your own, just from simple stuff that you have around the house. So first off, we are going to use, we call it bristle board. Everybody may have a little bit of a different name for it. Maybe people call it poster board, bristle board. You can kind of see how thick that is. It's a nice, thick piece of poster board, and they usually come in great big sheets, like probably about, I'm gonna say about 2 feet wide and 3 feet long. So you can get them at like office supply stores, the dollar stores. You can get it anywhere, and it's usually quite cheap. It's usually about $1 or $1.50 per sheet. So very inexpensive, very easy to do. So this mini album finished is going to end up as 6x6 sheets. So as you saw in the beginning, the whole entire size is 6x6 when it's all glued together. So the first thing to do is to cut 4 squares. And we'll talk about this, another variation in a second, but as you saw from the photos, basically we have a mini album that has a front cover and a back cover and 2 inside pages. Now, if you want more inside pages, you want 6 or you want 8 or whatever, I'll show you how to vary the sizes really quick. So this is always going to be a standard for you. You're always going to be able to make up your own mini album at home and get crafting with it, rather than having to find the suitable size at the store and do they have it in stock and all that kind of stuff. You'll be able to do it yourself. So again, 6x6. And when I'm speaking, I'm just going to talk about the actual mini album that I made with the 4 pages, basically 2 inside pages and then the front and back cover, so that there's no mistaking what's going on. Once you've got those cut, you're going to want to cut the spine because we need the inside. So as you can see, I've already got it folded here. So let's straighten this out a little bit here. So you're going to want to cut a piece of paper, again from the same bristle board, that is 3 inches wide and 6 inches tall. Okay, and you are going to want to score that, okay, at every ½ inch interval. So ½ inch, score it at 1 inch, score it at 1.5, 2, 2.5. Okay, what that's going to do when you see it folded together, then we fold it like an accordion. So your 2 outside pieces, okay, because these are going to get attached, these are going to get glued on like this onto your cover, your front cover and your back cover. So the 2 outside pieces get folded up, okay, folded in towards the center when you're holding it straight up. Then you fold each individual piece. So because this one has folded this way, we want the other one to fold this way to make the accordion. I think you get the picture. This isn't rocket science, right? So fold each individual, score them and fold them. So we end up with an accordion or a fan. If it's really hot there for you, you can use this as a fan in the meantime, okay? So there's your inside spine. And again, how this is going to work is we're going to glue a piece on there. We'll move this out of the way. We're going to glue our back cover on like this, okay? And then we are going to glue 1 page onto this inside, okay? And we're going to glue another page onto this inside, and we have our Made in the Shade, okay? Now, the other thing we can do is we could literally glue this together if we want to, okay? The center part, because we really only need to attach 1 piece here and 1 piece on the other side. But I wanted to kind of leave it as an accordion. To be honest with you, this is going to be a little trial and error. We'll see how this will turn out. But I wanted it to be a bit of an accordion because by the time you adorn all your pages like you saw in the video with all the different things on it and the pockets and all that kind of stuff, and people put photos in it or things like that, I want you to have that room in there. You know, sometimes they just get so stuffed and they won't even fit properly together anymore. They're kind of sitting at an angle or stuff. I wanted to leave this open and give us a little bit of an angle. So we'll see how this will work out. We'll see if this will actually work out the way we want it to or not. The last thing is, see if I can hold this kind of up here, is if you think about that, there is our glued up cover without the pages in it. Well, when you flip it over, now in the back you've got this spine that is exposed, and we want to cover that up. So what we do is we cut a piece that is 2 inches wide and 6 inches long again, and a same out of the bristle board, and we score it at a ½ inch from each side. Okay, so again, these 1/2-inch strips are just our gluing strips. So what's going to happen is this is going to go on the outside here, and it'll be pretty obvious once I have this glued up and I show it to you as a form. So then that way, that is going to cover up the spine from the outside, and then we can decorate this piece here. So that's the first part of it. Let me glue it all together, and then I'll show it to you when we're done. All right, and so here's our finished glued up album. Look at us. If you've been following along and doing it yourself and pushing pause and gluing up and doing things, now you're at the same spot as us. Okay, so here is our front cover. There's our first inside page, our second inside page, and our back. And there we go. So as you'll see, obviously now we have a glue thing. So we're gonna glue paper all the way over this. So it's really like, yeah, there'll probably be a little bit of a ridge or whatever the case may be. So depending on how much or how professional looking you want this, you could have actually then glued another piece of paper over top of this so that you won't get the little bit of ridge here because it is a little thicker paper. So you decide what looks best to your eye, but there's how it goes. Now, I chose, let's flip this up this way so you can see this. I chose these two inside papers. You have to glue it on the same side of the accordion, meaning I glued it on the first little bit and then the third accordion piece, rather than gluing it on like one on here and then one on the back on the last piece. I glued them on the same one so that when you close it up, the pages are uniform. But again, like, you know, that just one of those weird finicky things. Now, we had talked earlier in the video about maybe you want more pages in the inside. So the variation on this is, say you wanted 4 pages inside. All you have to do is make your spine a little bit wider, okay? We started out with a 3-inch by 6-inch, so let's do this again, 3-inch by 6-inch piece of paper to make this inside accordion spine. Okay, so if you want to add 2 more pages to it, right, you're going to need a full 1/2-inch and another 1/2-inch for every page. So instead, so to make another 2 more accordion pieces in there, I hope I'm making sense there. But basically, instead of a 3-inch wide strip by 6 inches, it's still going to be 6 inches tall, but you're going to want a 5-inch strip. So add 1 inch for every piece of paper that you want to add in the inside. For every page that you want to add 1 inch to your spine, okay? Because you're going to have to score them at 1/2-inch intervals, and always score at 1/2-inch intervals. So then that way you could have 4 pages in here, you could have 8 pages in here, whatever. So vary that, and then obviously your back spine, you need to make a little bit bigger as well, right? This one was a 2-inch by 6-inch, 2 pages. If you put 4 pages in, you want a 4-inch by 6-inch. Make sense? So there is our form. So now you're going to be able to make your own forms at home with as many or as few pages as you want inside. That is the standard formula for it. I hope you like that. Now we'll come back once it's all assembled and we'll show you all that. See you soon. Welcome back. And here it is. Ta-da! The finished mini album. And folks, to let you know, this is my first mini album ever. So be a little gentle in the comments section, right? This is a beautiful mini album. This Cherish collection, we've used our bundled Cherish collection in order to create this. And you can see from the beginning, it really turns out stunning. So let's do a quick review of the outside here. This paper that I've used on the outside, you know, you almost feel a little guilty because this paper is actually done for you in the kit. I did nothing. I didn't layer these flowers on. I didn't put this ribbon on, nothing. Same thing with this smile. Hope you always have every reason to smile. This is done for you. You just simply print it out, cut it out, off you go. So how easy is that? But look at the results, right? As you can see, because we just finished the form, there's the spine completed, and here is the back. We'll get to that in a second, but let's go back to the front. So the only thing I had help with is the bow. Now, obviously you can hear I'm a guy, so I am LG, And I needed Mary Fran to help me with the bow. You know, ladies, how they really don't make tools to fit a woman's hand? Well, they really don't make ribbon to fit a man's hand. It's a little, you know, when you get your little fingers in there, it's a little hard on you. So we've also added some Wild Orchid crafts, some of their big, beautiful rosebuds in order to enhance it. And I think it turned out just wonderful. So opening up, here we go. Inside, inside, you'll see that I've used, again, this is a nice little tag. Let me just grab this here. This is a nice little tag in the pocket. Never stop showing someone how much they mean to you. Beautiful tag in order to either use as is, put a photo on the back. You can see, keep the writing off the back if you're going to, you know, I needed to kind of diarize. I had so many pieces here. I needed to kind of diarize exactly what was going on. Again, beautiful rose-colored background paper and a nice simple stripe. There's all kinds of papers in this kit, so you get a taste of everything so that way you can have some simpler things along with some more complicated ones. This at the bottom here is actually a border of roses that I printed out, and I put it up on some, I'm not sure what you call them, they're kind of sticky little jelly dots. They're not as high as the foam dots like I've used on the butterfly, so you don't get quite the dimension out of them, but I wanted it to kind of show that, you know, it was a little different than the paper. On this side here, again, gone with a nice pink floral back here in order to back the whole thing. And then on the inside, this pocket, again, this is an element that is already clustered and done for you, this envelope, finished envelope element. Now we're gonna see something similar to this later on in the book here, where there actually are the parts and pieces, so you can make something like this yourself. So inside, there's this little magnet on here. I wanted it so that you could have all kinds of photo places. So we've got 3 on the front. I've used a nice little tag. Time has a wonderful way of showing us what really matters. And then you open this up, and then you've got a bunch more photo spots in here. So you've got 7 photo spots, and then you have the center of this as well, the center of the page, which you can journal on. You could put another larger photo on it, whatever you wanted to do. Isn't that cool? It was something I kind of thought up myself. How do you like them apples, right? So we'll fold that back all up. On the next page, with loving wishes. Again, the floral, beautiful floral, the original white floral. Here is the Celebrate You postcard, and it's even lined down here. I'll hold this up here in a second so you can get a better look. It's even lined down here, and I've left it unglued on this part, so you can slide in a photo, you could slide in a gift card, you could do all kinds of things. I also left this as a pullout with loving memory, so that you can see it's a nice big area. Whether you wanted to use this side to, you could adorn it more. I've just pasted the label with loving wishes. Again, just pasted that so that you can see I didn't glue down the front face of it here. So that way when you tuck it back in, it actually hangs over. So you kind of get double duty out of it. It's a nice element, but it also holds on for you. And then you have the clear back as well. So you can do anything you want on the back, whether that's extra photos, whether that's where you journal or whatever the case may be. Let's just slide this back in here. Boy, those get snug, hey? So that's the one thing. I've trimmed it down, but it's still a little on the snug side. I guess maybe because it's new and it hasn't been pulled out and pushed around and everything else, right? So let's do that. Okay, so now we're back in it. This side, again, using a pastel version of this paper. So same paper, this is a pastel version that it comes in, so it's a little muted. Again, this is already done for you. This is the greatness of this kit, you guys. Mary Fran gives you so much stuff. Like I said, I'm a guy. This is my first mini album ever. Like, you know, if I can do this, boy, I'm sure anybody can do this. I've added this element. Again, this element is done for you in the kit, this flower cluster. I've added a real leaf, one of the little nylon-y ones that you can buy or whatever, and these flat back pearls, which are also from Wild Orchid Crafts. And again, we enclose this with a magnet. So when we open up this gives you photo areas over here. You've got a beautiful clock face here. There's 2 of them that come in the kit. There's a blue one and there's a pink one with pink hands here. And You Are My Love in here. I've also added a ribbon. These ribbons come in our kit. Mary Fran always produces, usually get anywhere between 6 and 8, maybe 9. ribbons in the kit, and you know, a lot of people may not use them, but look at how great that looks. I just actually glued it down over top. I didn't use any raising things. I didn't have any jelly dots, none of that kind of stuff. I just put that on there. But you can tell from the shadowing and everything else what a lovely element that makes. And then obviously we have this. So again, when we go back to the front, look at that, folks. Now this is a little different paper. You can see this is taupe down here rather than pink. Little different paper, but look at the options you get with it. And these are scaled. These papers, all the papers in here, like the main large 5.75 by 5.75, because we have a 6x6 album. I wanted that little bit of white space around the edge. All of these papers I scaled down 20%. Okay, so that gave me the right size that I was looking for and everything else. These ones here you have to kind of custom fit, obviously, right? But I'm going to zoom in on this here so that you can really see what you get in the kit in terms of, look at what you are getting in terms of the flowers. Like, look at that. Isn't that amazing? I'm going to put this back and I'm going to zoom in again for you on the flowers. Oh wait, those are snug fitting. Here are the flowers. Check this out. Like, look at the detail in the flowers that you get. That is the flower cluster. That isn't anything that I've done. That is simply what you get from Mary Fran. Same thing on the postcard. Let's just zoom in on that real quick here for you so you guys can get a better understanding of the detail that you get in some of this stuff. Isn't that great? Like, Mary Fran does a lot of the work for you so that way when you go to create, you can just get to creating like this. I did not have to, other than shrinking my papers and printing them out, that is, you know, same thing with the elements. I had to shrink it to, you know, a decent size. But shrink it, print it out, here you go. This is what you get. Oh, lastly, I forgot to show you inside here. So we know we have this as a pullout. These are for photo areas. Then we have this at back pocket as well that is a pullout. So that guy slides out. And you've got another area for journaling, for photos, whatever it is, right? So close you back up. The last page here. So this is what I was talking about earlier, where this actual envelope is actually put together. So you get the parts and pieces in the kit, where you get actually one piece is the back, one piece is the front, so that you can do this in paper without any problem. You don't have to separate that yourself, right? Again, the floral back in a blue. This is why we give you, if you watch our videos about the kit release, and you'll see, well, you get basically the same paper, but in the different shades. Well, now it's pretty obvious why, right? It does such a nice job here. And this pocket has a tag that pops out, okay? And again, look at that down there. I'll set it here so you can see how this shines through. Look at that. That was cut out with our Cricut. And I know there's a lot of you with cutting machines out there. I haven't done a video with a Cricut. I was thinking about doing one because I know I've had some people ask, hey, can you tell me how to do this? Or how can you show me just quickly how to use the Cricut with your specific designs and graphics? And I may end up doing one here over the next couple of weeks just because I've had some people ask lately, right? Now, the butterfly is up on the foam squares, the sticky foam squares, and the thinking of you, and again, this time has a wonderful way of showing us what really matters, to adorn the outside, those are up on those jelly sticky things. The last page here, as you see, these have the photo squares in them, a nice simple background with the flower cluster, again, all done for you, put up on the little jelly dots. The together is our favorite place to be. Again, done for you in the kit. I haven't created any of this stuff. I haven't combined elements in order to make something. This comes direct to you. This is placed up on the foam squares. And then each of these 3 photo squares, now you'll see that they're white inside. I only left it that way just because of the video. I didn't want the background paper to shine through for you. But you cut out those squares and those are your photo areas, and I've left the top of this one, you can see, and the bottom of these 2. See if I can get a nail into there. You can see how these 2 guys at the bottom, normally I would have cut those out so that then that way we could stick a photo straight in there. But like I said, just for video purposes, I wanted to make sure that you guys had could see properly and see what the element is. Those are the elements already done for you. I've added these little diamond centers. There is digitally actually them in there, but I thought, you know, even with the real stuff, it gives a little more pizzazz. And lastly, the back cover. So again, here is that beautiful page that you can use all day long, right? You've seen these floral papers and they are so pretty. It is so easy to use. And then I've added this tag again, which is done for you. Cherish every moment. That is already in the kit. Just simply place it on there. I thought it was nice to fill up the white space, but not have something that's, because it's the back, that's going to get kind of torn up or torn off, right? So there it is, folks. I hope you liked our mini album. I hope that you'll try making one yourself, because this bundled Cherish collection is a beauty. Please give us the thumbs up if you like the video. Please leave me a comment. Let me know how things worked out. Let me know if you had any questions.